Hey everybody, what's going on? Josh here with CrahenVLOG, and this is my second channel, the first one being Scrapyard Films. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the GH5s with the Atomos Ninja V using each of their new updates to record in 12-bit ProRes RAW. You will need to set up a couple of things to get this working, so I'm going to go over those in detail for you. In the description I provided links to download the latest firmwares easily for you to grab, and also there are timestamps for this entire video so you don't have to sit through things you already know or have already seen. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's all the equipment I'll be using in this entire video. First I'll be using a GH5s. Next I'll be using an Atomos Ninja V recorder. Attached to the Ninja V is a 1TB SSD, and in order to read that SSD on the computer I have an SSD to USB 3 cable. And to connect my GH5s to my Atomos, I have a high-speed HDMI cable. Attached to my GH5s is a Metabones 64 adapter, which is the wider one. And the two lenses I'll be using are a Canon 24-105 f4L Mark II and a Canon 50mm 1.8. So to start us off, we need to update our firmware for our Atomos Ninja V. I did provide a link in the description so you could download this firmware easily. The next file we want to download is the firmware update 2.0 for the GH5s. Again, I provided a link in the description so you can download it easily. Once you have both of these firmware versions downloaded, we're going to be plugging in our solid state drive that goes to our Atomos and an SD card that goes inside our Lumix into our computer. We want to extract both of these files and then drag and drop them into the root directories of each drive they go on. Once you've done that, let's start with the Lumix. I'm going to take the SD card and put it in the side of the Lumix itself. We want to change the Lumix's settings on the wheel right here to the P mode. And then we're also going to change the burst to single shot burst. Once you turn on your GH5s, if you press the playback button, it's going to start the firmware update. Once it's done, we can move on to the Atomos. So go ahead and slide the hard drive into your Atomos. Once you turn the Atomos on, it will automatically detect the new firmware that needs to be updated. It'll automatically start updating and be finished relatively quick. Next, let's go through some of the settings on the Lumix. If you go through the video modes, you won't see anything that looks like RAW or anything like that just naturally in your video options. But if you go up to the top video mode, in the first page, you will see a new option called HDMI RAW Data Output. If you select this and turn this on, then your Lumix will be producing a RAW signal. Now, if you move on to the second menu and go to the recording quality, you will see only 3 options that you can choose. You can record RAW in 4K 60 frames per second, 4K 30 frames per second, or 4K 24 frames per second. It's really cool that they added the 60 frames per second mode because RAW slow motion is just amazing. But for this option, we're going to choose 24 frames per second because we want to make it look cinematic. So now plug in your GH5s to your Atomos Ninja. If it doesn't automatically detect a RAW signal, you will have to change that in the settings above. But mine automatically detected it multiple times and automatically switched to RAW mode. If it doesn't, tap on the top bar, go into the recording menu, and then tap on the codec till you see ProResRAW. The two types of compressions you can use are ProResRAW Regular and ProResRAW HQ. HQ is obviously higher quality and has a higher bit rate, and the recording format and frame rate is going to be detected automatically. You will notice that you cannot change any picture profiles in your Lumix GH5s at all. The mode it's going to be set in is RAW Vlog, and your Ninja V will reflect that on the top bar as well. Once you got all that set up, you are ready to record. So let's go ahead and check out some sample footage I took. That's going to wrap it up for this video. If it helped you out, be sure to shoot a like and subscribe down there because that'll really help me out. You can even check out my main channel, Scrapyard Films, if you want to learn some video editing tutorials and special effects stuff. But thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. And I want to give a special shout out to all my legendary scrappers at the top, LMC and Hardy Cash. You can find links to their channels and social media in the description below. And thanks to all my super scrappers there in the middle and my awesome scrappers at the bottom.